Welcome back to It Is What It Is.
I'm Holly.
I'm Evie.
And I'm Rachel. I hope you had a lovely Christmas break, and if you didn't, not to worry, it's only a day.
Exactly. This week we are talking about the new year, getting through another lockdown, as well as discussing your unpopular opinions.
And again, don't forget to follow us on our social media pages to keep up to date with our polls and the latest episodes.
We are so excited to be back, and we hope you enjoy.
Well, girls, I suppose I should start by saying Happy New Year. We're all in 2021 and we're spending it like we spent most of 2020 in lockdown.
We are recording this podcast differently this week as we aren't able to be together. So please bear with us.
I know, bear with us. I don't know what about you girls, but I love seeing everyone's post about what they've achieved this year on Instagram. You know, like the trend that's been going round, all their memories of 2020. I just think it was so lovely to see everybody posting about their achievements, and I don't know, I just feel like 2020 has had such a stigma and like a negativity around it, and there's no doubt it's been hard, but it was just great to see everybody sharing light and love towards things that they were proud and grateful for.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was just I feel like there was no achievements that were, you know, too crazy, or any goals this year that were too crazy. It was sort of everyone sort of having goals that were very simplistic this year, did you think?
Yeah, like just like being proud of yourself for the little things that you might not have been before.
So we also put a post on Instagram for those listeners that follow us over on that platform. We highlighted our top 3 moments of 2020. And I know even when we were putting this together, you said you were actually really struggling to think of your best moments of 2020. So why do you think that was?
Not that I think, like, I think this 2020 has made me grateful for the little things. So I'm not complaining, like saying, oh, I had such a crap year. Like, I know a lot of other people had it worse, but I was just looking through my camera roll, like trying to look for big moments, you know, and I was like, I didn't do anything really extravagant this year. Like the year before, I had my graduation, my sister's wedding. I'd been on holiday with you girls. I went on holiday with Aaron. Like, and this year I was like, there was just nothing. But there was also little things that I appreciated more that I wouldn't have before.
Yeah, you feel your camera roll this year has just been you sat out in the back garden, exploring hometowns, like, you know, like things in your own country, and you think, that's so boring.
I know. Although I'm not saying like I enjoy doing those things, but you know, when you're putting them up, you're like, oh right, fun.
But isn't that so funny? Because that is literally it, isn't it? Like that's, you know, you were struggling because you were thinking this might not be exciting enough, but actually it was so refreshing. Like I know I found it refreshing anyway. But Evie, do you want to just kind of like let the listeners know that don't follow us on Instagram what your top 3 moments were of 2020?
Yes, so the first one I said was just exploring Ireland, because obviously I couldn't go on holidays or anything this year like the rest of us, so I just decided, well, might as well go and see parts of Ireland that I wouldn't have before. And you forget how beautiful our country actually is. Like,
whenever we've got the weather, our little country is stunning.
This lockdown's definitely harder because you can't explore as much, but summertime was great for that. And then my birthday, which is something that I never have, Rachel, you know this, I never ever like celebrate my birthday or have a party or anything. Like I just I'm so unorganised, and I'm just like, and then it's like the day before, and then I'm like, oh, I didn't organise anything. So this year, because I wasn't doing anything all year round, I was like, I'm organising a party and I'm going to get with my friends, socially distant, of course.
So we're all out in the back garden.
That was such a fun night. I think
that was a great night. A little bit hungover the next day.
A wee bit. And I think it was just nice to get with your friends after being away from them for so long.
And you know, I love, you know, house parties or like garden parties, because you know, if you're in a club, right, you're at a bar, you're like, you can't really talk, and you're like, what are you saying? And you can play good party games and whatnot, like in your house, whereas if you're in a bar or a restaurant, you can't really do that.
Rachel O'Leary's Jenga game. The drinking game.
That was dangerous.
And then the third one I picked was just like Christmas with my family. I love Christmas every year, but I think this year was just a bit extra special because of the circumstances, and I was just so like feeling so lucky that I got to spend Christmas with my family, because I know a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely. I think Christmas was a huge thing for everybody this year, because there was literally nothing else to look forward to apart from Christmas.
Exactly. So that was my 3 highlights of 2020.
Very good.
Not exciting, but
they were great.
Well, to be honest, like I started 2020 in Australia, so I spent obviously time traveling there, and that was probably my highlight. I started 2020 like thinking this is great, this is going to be a great year. But yeah, no, that was definitely a highlight for me, and I didn't really appreciate it at the time. So looking back now, if I ever got that opportunity again, I would definitely be a lot more appreciative. To do that. Also then my second highlight was watching my best friend get married. Honestly, my best friend's wedding is my favourite movie. Like Julia Roberts, I'm obsessed. But
yes, I love her.
And like, although Holly's wedding didn't follow that plot line, it was so good. Like I think for us, like I was one of 4 bridesmaids, and it was so hard watching Holly have to make all these really hard decisions. Being like the first person to ever have to make those decisions, it was so hard watching her do that, and we had no advice to give because she was like the first person to ever do it. But it was so special, like I can't even describe. Like the day before Holly's wedding, we were told that we could go in the morning to go and obviously help her get ready, and that was just so special. So like we arrived at 8 a.m. Then my halls with the Prosecco and like and had like this amazing wedding breakfast, and I got to do Holly's hair, which was like nerve-wracking for me because she's so laid back, and she was just like, yeah, do what you want. That's such a nice thing to say.
I know, it was lovely. I know, because in your little highlights there was like those 3 pictures of you doing my hair and then like me looking at my hair, and I'd never seen those photos before, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna cry.
It's really like sentimental when you actually look back on it.
Yeah, it's so much more sentimental.
Yeah, it was like a lovely morning.
We got to see, obviously you walked down the aisle, we got to see your daddy's face when he seen you for the first time. So from
it was like an escape from reality for a morning.
It really was, like it was just so, I just can't even describe it. Like obviously it was just the best feeling getting to seeing you on your special day. So I ain't going on too much about that, but you got a bridesmaid's perspective of a 2020 wedding. And then finally my last highlight was I started a wee production company, which was a theatre production company with my lovely friend, and it was in the middle of the pandemic. So for us, obviously we know the theatres and stuff have been put on hold, but we're just hoping the 2021's brings a bit more normality for theatre. So that was like an achievement for me as well. So Holly, what were your 3 moments of 2020?
So my 3 moments were, so the first day I can like really remember this was meeting my family for the first time again. Like so the first lockdown was so strict, and I live about half an hour away from mum and dad and my brother. And I think the first lockdown you had like a 10-mile radius of like where you could go to. So obviously I was not able to travel and see mum and dad. So I remember after the sort of like, so the rules sort of calmed down a wee bit, I was able to go and see mum and dad and Paddy, and it was such a beautiful day. We just had a barbecue in the back garden, and the sun was out, and it was a great wee day just to be reunited again. Then my second one was my hen party, just because I got to see all my best girls again after so long. Like, you just like crave like being with your girls and drinking and dancing and just being silly.
That was the best. Like that was the best event ever. Like
that felt like a night out.
Yeah,
in your house.
We had actually such a great hen plan for you, Marbella. Like it was going to be like the hen of the century, and we were all devastated when it couldn't happen, probably selfishly because like there was a lot more going on in the world, but we were just so sad because we would have all got together for the first time properly in a year. And just for like that, like we did it at your house, and it was so special, such good crack.
It was so much fun. I did not think that I could ever have a hen party in Ballycastle in my back garden, and it would have been so much fun.
Literally. Honestly, it was good.
It's
not where you are, it's the people who are there that make it.
Exactly. We were like out in the back garden, and we had this like little gazebo, and then torrential rain came down on us. Remember?
Literally, the marquee started to blow away.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
I remember the wee like gazebo like started to like lift up with the wind, and we all just went
Paddy and Paul, your dad and your brother, like running out to try and sort it out. Even Lois was like taking the thing down. But,
oh my god!
Do you know what's so funny? Like that didn't even flinch us. Like we were probably, some of us got soaked as well.
Yeah,
and we didn't even care. Like we went in and got another cocktail and just started dancing. Like it. Yeah, if that was a nightclub, we probably be crying our eyes out in the toilet somewhere.
We had the best time. And then obviously my last one was my wedding day. I'm not going to go too much into this because I feel like I talk about this every single episode. So yeah, obviously my wedding day.
Yeah, no, that was really special, 100%. And you know what? Looking back, girls, it hasn't been that bad of a year, has it? In terms
I think
of,
we've had it very lucky this year.
I know, and you know, it's one of those things, isn't it? We're just grateful for what we've been able to achieve this year, even if it was just little simple tasks or just making little memories. But yeah, I've been dying to know what you have got up to over New Year, because we haven't really spoke since New Year's Day or day before New Year's Eve. So let me know, what did you get up to? Were you dressed to the nines, or did you just get in your comfies?
So actually, what we did, we just thought we sort of thought. So I was with Max and his mummy and his mummy's partner and my brother-in-law and my brother-in-law's girlfriend. So there were 6 of us all together, and we thought, are we going to dress up, be in our comfies, or what we do? And I thought the idea of we all dress up as something that reminded you of 2020.
Oh, I love that idea.
So we all dressed up. It was just a wee bit of fun, a bit of crack. So I dressed up as the Queen because of the crown. The crown was massive this year. So
yes.
I had my little white gloves. I put the little crown on. And then Max, he dressed up. He cut out chess chess pieces out of cardboard and stuck them on to himself because of the Queen's Gambit. So I think just a little bit of crack, something to cheer us up, you know.
That is class.
That's so funny. That's a brilliant idea.
I know. I could just imagine if we were doing it, it would be like toilet paper, locks for lockdown. I would have not got the memo. I would have been coming with a toilet paper on my head, oh jeez. That's
so true, Holly. That's so you've done that so fancy. I would definitely be wearing toilet rollers.
I wouldn't have got the memo. We would have been you ever watched Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging? That would have been me and Aiden coming like olives while you're dressed up so lovely.
That's the great thing.
Oh, but it is funny. Aiden, what did you get up to?
We just had every year we just have a party in Aaron's mum's house. Anyway, we are it's been lockdown with them, so it worked out quite well. So it's always just me and Aaron, his brother and his girlfriend, Aaron's mum and dad, and his little sisters, and we always just play games and have nibbles and celebrate the new year together. It's never anything mad, but it worked out quite well because we just done that again this year, so nothing different for us.
Did you get dressed up?
We got dressed up, yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
What did you get up to, Rich?
I made a slight effort. I did put makeup on, but I kept my comfies, so I kept it casual. And we just had a wee family dinner, a few drinks, played some board games. We played Mr. and Mrs., the family edition, and honestly, it's actually such good crack. It's really funny.
Oh, that would be so fun.
We all got so competitive, who knew who better and stuff. It was really
Who won?
Well, we played against everybody, but me and Callum, the first round, we were atrocious. My mum and dad, when I tell you, they got 10 out of 10 for everyone. You have to sit back to back, you have to know. And I was how do you know this? It was.
I would like to think so after 30 years.
I know.
Married.
Really?
Yeah.
So no, they did really well. It was good crack. And then we rang in. Obviously, whenever it turned New Year 2021. We called all of our family, which was so strange because we're usually all together. You girls know, we always usually have big family dues and stuff. So for us, it was just weird, FaceTiming and calling them and being Happy New Year, we can't hug yous or see yous. But yeah, that was nice actually. So we were also talking, weren't we, about anything things we would like to achieve in 2021. I know it's hard to plan things at the minute, but have you girls got any personal goals for 2021?
Well, apart from the usual sort of things, I probably have put a little bit of weight on over December, whatever I wanted.
Haven't we all?
Definitely, yeah, I know. So January is definitely a bit more healthier eating, and another one. I think these small resolutions are good. I really need to clean my makeup brushes.
Yes.
I'm going to do that on the 1st of January.
Holly, that's actually so strange. That's one of mine, to revamp my whole makeup bag and clean it and properly
it's just like the small things, isn't it? And then once you get the wee small thing done, you're like, yes.
Yeah,
it's the small victories, girls. What are you thinking, Amy? What's yours?
Mine sounds a wee bit silly, but this was mine last year, and it actually worked out really well. And it's nothing specific, but it was just to like develop better habits, even just small ones. And like there's so many, I'm not going to go through them all in my head, but I think it's those like small habits that makes up the biggest differences.
100%.
So there's just a few habits that I just want to change, like even things like I'm really bad at exercise, and like I'm not consistent with it. So even just to exercise like twice a week, clean my brushes more once a week, just little things like that. And then I also to work really well on our podcast and get my YouTube up and running again.
Yes,
that's like like exactly what you said, even like the small things are what's going to make the big difference. I think for me, like I definitely want to get fitter and healthier for sure, because I don't know, like I just got out of a routine, so that definitely is a big one for me. So yeah, it's just exciting, isn't it? It's nice to not actually have a huge pressure to have.
I think 2020 definitely taught us to not have like these massive, like stupid goals, not stupid goals, but like just pushing yourself too much, and then if you don't achieve them, then you end up just being disappointed and feeling bad about yourself.
It is, but whenever I like put or make goals or whatever, and I'm like, right, I'm going to do this, and I think the pressure makes me not do it. I just end up thinking like, no, I'm not doing it anymore. So like you said, Holly, no pressure, just work hard and see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
And like we briefly chatted last week about things that we were going to leave in 2020. I thought it would be fun to share some of them with the listeners. So Holly, do you want to start us off with what we had talked about?
Yeah, so I think we are going to start to leave all the negative self-chat that we have about ourselves in 2020. And 2021 is the year we become our own cheerleaders.
100%.
Yeah, we need to stop worrying about being judged by others, I think, because that's a big one for me. Like I worry a lot about being judged, and I always think at the end of the day, no one cares. Like no one's thinking about you as much as you think they are. Like no one literally gives a shit.
I definitely agree with that. I think we need to stop doubting ourselves as well. We talked about that, so we're going to stop doubting. And in 2021, we're going to believe that we can do it, and we will.
Yep. Yes. People pleasing is something we are all guilty of, and honestly, it's kind of draining. In 2021, we will please ourselves. All about us.
I have to stop thinking that we have to have it all together. That's something that always annoys me. Like even if I'm just chilling watching Netflix, sometimes I'm like, I have to get up and do something, and it's like, no, chill out. Your life's together.
Yeah, exactly.
I seen a little quote on Vicky Patterson's page the other day, and I think it's the light-hearted banter that we're here for. She said, "Here to 2021, when Corona is just a beer again, when Donald is only a duck, when tears sit only on cakes, and when bubbles exist only in champagne."
I love that quote.
That is so nice.
So nice. We're currently in lockdown at the moment. I personally am finding this lockdown a lot harder than the others. I don't know if it's just because we've just had Christmas and we haven't been able to spend it with our extended family and friends, but we currently have a curfew where we live, so the curfew is 8 p.m. and we have to be indoors at this time. I don't know, I just feel like there aren't enough hours in the day. I know this curfew's only been implemented for a week, but I find it so hard to adapt to everything closing at 8 o'clock. You know, if you're working during the day, you're only just finishing up and then you're stuck indoors for the evening. And look, I know people have it far worse off, and these are definitely first world problems, but we want to keep it real with you guys, and I'm sure many of you are feeling the same. So how are you guys finding this lockdown so far?
I'm finding this lockdown a lot different to the first lockdown, because obviously we had the sun, we had the weather, your days felt longer, whereas this lockdown, it's January, it's a bleak month as it is, you know, it's frosty, it's wet, you can't go outside as much as you could in the first lockdown. Now we have a curfew, so you can't get any of those wee cheeky 9 p.m. takeouts.
Yeah. Literally, Holly, it is a lot more like doom and gloom than the first one. And I think the first one was sort of nearly like a novelty because the sun was out, you could have barbecues, you were like off work. And I feel like this time round we're just over it. And both the 8 p.m. curfew, I forget, so I do, and then like I have maybe like forgot about dinner or that, and then it's like 7:45 and I'm like, oh, I need to go and get dinner.
Yeah.
And then I forgot all about it, and then I'm can't eat.
I know. And like I find, I don't know about yours, but I love a late night walk. Like, just a quick walk before you settle down for the night. Yep. And with this curfew, I'm finding that I'm falling totally out of routine. Like I said to you girls, like I want to be healthier in the new year. And do you know what? It's just like when you're busy during the day and then by the time you get settled and get started, like, want to go out for a walk or want to just get out for like maybe like half an hour.
Yeah.
It's just not possible. And I find that it's really affecting like my mood, my sleep. We were talking about that earlier. Like my sleep, I'm not sleeping properly at night. And I do think it's down to that.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're not leaving the house as much or having as much exercise or even just doing anything in general.
Yeah, like the other day, this might be a really awful excuse, but I got up early to go for a run and I looked outside and it was like really frosty and I was like, I'm not going to run on the roads to like fall on my ass.
Oh, Holly, no,
I was like, nope, I'll leave it for a couple of hours, let the frost go. Then come 12 o'clock, it started to rain. And I was like, I am not going to run in the rain. So my exercise went out the window for that day.
No, I get that, Holly. I'm even scared to go and walk in that weather in case I slip with my bum.
I know I'm not getting out for the walk or whatever, but it's motivated me so much to get back into fitness. Like I have not done it since travelling, but I signed up for a wee 8-week online course.
Oh.
So God knows, like honestly, I'll be tragic. I can't, like Monday it starts, so I'll be like dead on Monday evening. But it's just to try and like track my, my fitness, get my eating back to normal, because I know I don't even know what I eat in a day. Like I need to start.
And I think whenever you pay for something, it maybe like motivates you a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. You have to do it.
I know, and like it's an all girl class as well, so that's like really motivating. There's like a Facebook chat and things, and like I had I know this is like a wee bit off, but we had got a dilemma a couple of weeks ago that we didn't read out, but one of the girls had said she found it really hard to make friends being a bit older. And do you know what? Like, that's one of the things I was thinking. I was thinking, like, well, how would you advise somebody? Like, how would you meet friends when you're older? You're in the middle of lockdown. It's like dating. It's hard. Yeah. But I was thinking, like, those classes online, like those forums, those girls write to each other. Like, everybody's like posting in, motivating. So something like that would definitely...
Yeah, that's a great way of meeting friends.
That's really true, actually, because Aaron, he has a group chat with all his, and they are literally like all like a wee community. They're like actual friends, so they are. It's really nice.
So Aaron, your boyfriend, is a PT, so obviously he has all these.
Yeah, he has the group chats and everything, and like, oh my gosh, it goes off constantly. Like, I'm like, do you have a life? Like they're always chatting to each other.
Listen to Avine over here. I have to push myself in exercise. She's living with a PT.
I know.
With a gym in the house, then I have done none.
Yeah.
I know. Aaron, if you're listening to this, you can just drag her.
Yeah, I know. Because he's doing a 6-week course, and I was like, maybe I'll do it. And then I was like, oh no, Aaron, I'll just do my own. And then he was like, God's sake, Avine.
You're not going to do your own.
I will. Yeah. Well, watch me.
Okay.
Like that kind of thing. Believe it when I see it, that kind of thing. Maybe we should make a fitness group chat, girls.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm sitting here talking about fitness. Like, I am the most unfit person ever. Like, do you know what I mean? But, we're all trying.
We're trying. That's all we can do.
But you know what? Like, I think this lockdown is really important to do things that we enjoy. Like, how often, like in the past, did we actually have the chance to keep up with New Year's resolutions? Yeah. Usually, you'd be straight back to work after Christmas in an office or wherever you work. That would take up all of your time, all of your energy. Like, we've got so much time just to...
And even at uni, you had exams and coursework and all that in January. Yeah.
100%.
That was your main focus, not keeping healthy.
Yeah.
You needed snacks when you were studying.
I know.
Talking about snacks, I don't know about you girls, but I have watched so many episodes. I have binge watched so much on this lockdown. I am just like,
I never watched Netflix before lockdown, and see now, like, it's all I want to do.
I know, it's so funny. Like, when I think of lockdown, I think of, and even 2020, I just think of Netflix.
Yeah.
literally, yeah.
Well, Netflix, to be fair, has been bringing them out. Like, they took all, like, the normal movies off, like all the good normal movies. You get them on Amazon Prime, but they have their own really good originals, I think.
What is your recommendations, Aoibhinn? Have you got anything that...
But one that I watched last week, I watched it in one day. Bridgerton.
Yes, I loved it.
It was so good. I watched it in literally ER straight.
I've literally only watched 2 episodes of it, but so far so good. It is really
good.
And I also started watching The Queen's Gambit. You used to have already watched it.
Did you start it?
I started. I'm on the 3rd episode and I'm really enjoying it. It's really good.
The Queen's Gambit, sorry, Rich, is my favourite series of Netflix so far.
Oh, it is lovely. Like, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's really good. And do you know what? Like, I love the fact that they're bringing like period dramas like back.
Do you know what I love about Bridgerton? Bridgerton, I cannot say it, but that they use like modern music in the balls.
Everyone in it is beautiful.
I know. Oh my gosh,
and, like,
I know.
But it's funny because like The Crown was so successful. Like, everybody was so into The Crown, and then Bridgerton came out. Everybody loved that. You know, Netflix are just keeping up to what the people want, aren't they?
Yeah, they're doing good.
Yeah.
But do you know what? I also love a good BBC drama.
So do I.
Like, I think they're great for like a good like thriller drama sort of side thing.
I can't even think of any, but there has been a few that I've watched that were brilliant.
There's one.
What are you going to say, Rich?
There's a few, but like they had one. The one that I watched most recently is called Industry. Have you watched that? No. It's based in like an office in London, and it follows like graduates who get into a graduate scheme in like a big company, and it's kind of like Skins. Do you ever watch? Do you like Skins? Oh. So it's really good. Actually, I finished it. That was good, and also watched, you know, The Nest. Have you watched it?
Yes, that's the one I was going. That's brilliant. So
yeah,
good.
So it's like based in Scotland, and it's about a girl who like has to is offering to give her baby up for money to a rich couple, and it's kind of like a thriller, isn't it, Aoibhinn? It's like a thriller sort of. Yeah, it's really good. I would definitely recommend those.
Yeah.
And Netflix have one that's along that thriller sort of genre as well. It's The Stranger. Did you ever watch it?
I think so.
On Netflix.
It's got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, you should watch that. That's really good. Was it you, Aoibhinn, said that you judge your lockdown on what you watched?
Yeah.
Like, that's so funny. I was trying to think, like, what have I watched? When did I watch it? It just is like one big blur.
I know, it really is.
Well, you know what? We would love to hear from you listeners, you guys. We'd love to know how you are finding lockdown and how you are passing the time. Give us some recommendations. We'd love to share it with the rest of the listeners. And remember, if you aren't doing anything, that's fine too. We're just trying to get through this one step at a time. So we sent out a poll last week to ask unpopular opinions. We got a really good response. Some are really Christmassy themed, but we love them so much that we wanted to include them.
I know we love doing polls, and it's clear that you all do too.
So first unpopular opinion is, this Christmas has been more special than any other.
I can see why this listener would think this was an unpopular opinion, you know, for 2020, because it's had such stigma and it's like been tarnished as the worst year yet. But I do think many people would agree with this opinion.
Yeah, me too.
It's a yes and a no, I feel.
Yeah. Everyone is definitely appreciative of what they have, but I guess I would argue that that's what Christmas is all about. I don't know if this is like the first year that we've noticed that. I think that every year people come to the conclusion around the festive period about how grateful they are for what they have. I suppose that's more, it's like opinion based, isn't it? But
then I think that's coming from us three who were lucky enough to be with our family this Christmas. There's so many people out there who couldn't. So I suppose
that would have been tough.
Yeah, I suppose I can see why it might be unpopular. There might be someone out there who's like, no, I wasn't with my family. It was the worst year ever.
Yeah, I know. I feel like it was a great Christmas because there was nothing else to look forward to. So you were going to make this Christmas really, really special.
Yeah.
And then if you were by yourself, you know, or you were with just your partner or whoever it was, you know, you would have probably made your own little traditions that day if you weren't with your family. You know, that's what I love, you know, about doing things, you know, on your own. If you can't be with your family, you start to do like your own wee traditions and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, if I had make Christmas dinner, I would have been starving that day.
No, it's such a it's like proper mission, isn't it?
Yeah.
So another unpopular opinion was a starter is better than a dessert.
Yeah. I am in total agreement with that.
I am not.
Yeah. No,
You think so too,
it depends what it is. My mum and dad made a great starter this year, so and she made a great dessert. Sorry, Mum, if you're listening, she made it really good. I can't say.
I don't doubt it for a second.
I know. I just love starters.
I love desserts.
I'm not a dessert person at all. Like I didn't even have dessert this year. I didn't have a sweet tooth at all. Like I would rather go back and have another starter.
Or like you would rather like a cheese board even, wouldn't you, than a...
Yes, definitely. I just don't have the sweet tooth at all.
I'm like, give me all the chocolate, all the sweets. I'm like, I would have 2 desserts before I'd have a starter. Starter really fills me up.
Oh no, it fills me up too, but I just make room.
Yeah.
But then that's why I think by the time it comes to dessert, I'm like too full and to have a dessert.
Yeah, no, I'll just take all. I'll do both.
I know. I
another unpopular opinion is dark chocolate digestives are better than milk chocolate digestives.
Dark chocolate is just a no for me anyway.
I don't think I prefer one to the other, but I do quite like dark chocolate digestives.
If you're being healthier, maybe dark chocolate digestives aren't even healthier, are they?
I think dark chocolate is a little less sugar in it, maybe.
What about the biscuit part?
And I think it's just the same.
No, I don't think it's worth it. I wouldn't put myself through that stress of a dark chocolate digestive for a couple of calories.
Whenever you're still getting the sugar from the biscuit, there's no point, is there?
No, not worth it. I know but some people do take dark chocolate, don't they, just to like...
Next level.
Because it's healthier.
I know.
Somebody else said Christmas pudding is so overrated.
Yes.
I like it. I quite like it. I like it in mince pies and all that.
I love a mince pie, but the Christmas pudding, I haven't tried it in a few years. Maybe my palate has changed, but so I can't really say. But no, in the years that I have tried it, not for me.
Do you know what? I'm the worst person for being like, I don't like that, and I've never tried it. Like, I literally do that with everything.
I'm the least fussiest person there is when it comes to food.
Yeah.
At all.
Holly, you would eat anything.
Do you remember? Oh my goodness, we were in Marbella last year as a group, and Holly's family put us up in this beautiful villa. It was such great crack, and we had a lady who was living with us for the week, and she made us all these amazing dishes at night. And honestly, after like a night out, she made us sushi because we had complimented. She had went out for sushi, and we were like, "Oh, that's really good," you know. Oh my goodness, she made us sushi. We were hungover. It was scorching hot. I couldn't think of anything worse than sushi, and it was so bad because she was such a nice woman, and Holly was literally the only person eating it. Me and Aileen were dying in the sun.
I did attempt it though. Like I did try.
Yeah, you did.
And what else was it she made with it? Was it the scorpion kind of looking things?
Like prawns.
It wasn't prawns. It was like, and you had to like crack them open.
That was. Oh, what is that, Holly? There was prawns.
It's gone out of my head what they're called.
And Holly, oh my god, I that was a no for me. Holly, you were cracking them open and eating them, and I was like, ugh.
You were like, Holly was like to me, "You better eat this, Rachel," and she's like, "If you don't, put it in your purse."
Because there was so much.
I know, I felt so bad. I was like, I'm going to try my best, and I just couldn't.
There was so much on the table, and I was like, "Oh my god, girls, I can't eat this on my own. You just have to like try and eat this as well."
What was that lady's name again?
Sanita.
Zanita, she was so lovely.
She was so
great.
Nice.
She made the holiday for sure.
And she made so much good food. Like she made great curry. She made us a fry.
Oh, what else?
We were spoiled rotten that holiday.
Like most of her food was great. It was just like one or two things that like I had it all, but you two girls.
It wasn't that it wasn't great. It was just out of our range.
Yeah. I didn't even know how we got onto this topic.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the next unpopular opinion was people that don't wrap their kids' presents are weird.
Nah, my mum never done that for me.
My mum never did either.
No,
I love
Mum and
walking
Dad
in.
always wrapped our presents, and whenever I see unwrapped presents, I'm always like, oh, those poor children.
See, I find it really weird that people got their presents wrapped. That's weird to me. But we would have like obviously presents from family and friends, and they'd be wrapped, so they would be like the ones we'd open. But then, like, you know,
Santa presents
from Mum and Dad or Santa presents, they wouldn't be wrapped, and that was like I'm the same, Eva, and I loved going in and being like, oh,
being all laid out.
It's a very, I feel like it's a very 50-50.
It is very 50-50. Some people find it just so bizarre that Santa presents aren't wrapped. I know we had obviously talked about other people's unpopular opinions, but what are your unpopular opinions, girls? Do you have any?
Yeah, well, mine would be, I hate going out on Christmas night, and I know so many people that love to dress up and go to your local pub on Christmas night, but I'm not about that. I love being in, like, after being dressed up on Christmas Day, I love to dress down then on Christmas night and just be in my comfies, having a few drinks with the fam, playing board games in front of the fire.
Yeah.
I think that's just, maybe that's just age, Holly.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, when I was like 16 to 18, I was dying to get out, but after that, I was like, you, Holly.
No, I've never, like, from, like, all ages. I remember, like, Rach being like to me whenever we were, like, maybe 19, 20, do you want to go out tonight on Christmas Day? I was like, nope.
Not happening.
Get away from me. Yeah, it's so strange, like, round here, like, where we live, like, on the North Coast, everybody would go out Christmas night, Boxing night, New Year's Eve, like, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
It would just be constant.
Yeah, it's definitely like a culture thing about.
My sister's older than me, and she would be quite like that. Like, she would like to get out with her friends every event she can, whereas I'm like the young and boring one.
Rachel, what's your unpopular opinion?
I think my one would be the build up to Christmas is so much better than the actual day.
I do love the build up too.
Yeah. I don't know. I just find there's so much pressure on Christmas Day to be amazing.
Well, I was going to say that sometimes I agree with what you're saying, but then sometimes there's so much pressure on the build up to Christmas as well, because you have to obviously get organised for Christmas, get everyone their presents, and it can be quite stressful as well, I think. And then, like, I think this year I found that, and then on Christmas Day I was able to just relax and just like, okay, chill out. Christmas is over. The stress is over. Just eat and drink.
That's mad, isn't it? Because I felt the opposite. Like, I felt so chilled out coming up to Christmas. Like, you know, we obviously, you were able to go shopping, weren't you, in the lead up? So we went to Belfast, which is our local city, and we went out for the day there and like had a family day out. And, you know, like, that was just so nice. And that's what we would usually do, go out, see the Christmas lights, things like that. And then it comes to Christmas Day. And I don't know if this is just like me, but like, I know that some people find it so hard if they've like lost somebody. You know, I just think of all those people who, you know, had an empty chair around their table. I just understand how they would feel. It's just probably not the best time of the year for them.
I do. It gets really emotional. Like, I do get really emotional around that time of the year, like, definitely.
Do you have an unpopular opinion?
Mine would be that I prefer ham over turkey.
I agree.
I think turkey's really dry, or well, not dry, but like boring. Like, I'm not a big chicken fan either, so that probably.
But like, you need the ham to enjoy the turkey.
Yeah, sometimes I don't even eat the turkey.
Holly, today your theme is both.
I know.
I'm just a greedy gal. Okay?
When it comes to food, it's like both.
Well, that's us. We've come to the end of this week's podcast.
We will be back next week at the same time, so make sure you let us know if there's something that you would like to hear. We'll be putting out polls, so make sure you get involved.
I saw a quote the other day that I just feel sums up this new year, and it was like, nobody touch anything. Let's just take this year one step at a time. And I think that's all we can do, girls.
Yeah, I agree, Rach. We have just got to take things as it comes.
Yes, take life as it comes, and remember, it is what it is.